Good evening and welcome back to Concerned Citizens Media again. And I have some news and Concerned Citizens comment, plus a couple of videos, or one on Ethiopia, another video on the United States. So let's start the news first. First, the heartbreaking news. The well-known Oromo political activist and freedom fighter, Mr. Yaya Bashir, lost his brother back home today. His brother, Galib Abaa Sami, was targeted by Abiy Ahmed's administration because of Yaya Bashir's anti-Abiy political activism on social media. Galib was taken by undercover Abiy Ahmed security forces in the middle of the night from his home and shot 4 times and left on the field until he was found by others and taken to the hospital for treatment. Unfortunately, he died of the wounds he sustained from the criminals in the Ethiopian government system. His brother was a teacher and a peaceful family man, and he got nothing to do about Yaya Bashir's choice of action. But the Abiy Ahmed administration is practicing a silencing strategy against anyone who dares to oppose him. He did confiscate the store owned by Jawar Mohammad's sister and blocked the bank accounts of his relatives. Abiy Ahmed also closed bank accounts of Jawar Mohammed, Bakala Garba, and other Oromo politicians to create suffering in their families. This time, Oromos are facing a different kind of enemy, the enemy that can target and destroy the families of political opponents, even though they have nothing to do with the grown-up decisions. This government's action cannot weaken Oromo's struggle for freedom. Rather, it will energize their collective moves toward shortening or ending the lifespan of their enemies. Concerned Citizens Media wish to Yaya Bashir, his relatives and friends, strength at this difficult time. Rest in peace, teacher Galib Abaa Sami. The 6 Keros or Oromo Youth embargo on Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia already started in various parts of Oromia. This embargo focuses on the freezing of public transportation, sanction on farm supplies to cities and towns, and prevent the public from using government institutions such as banks and insurance companies. It also encourages the Oromo residents to organize themselves and form the transitional government in Oromia to govern themselves. The embargo allows the emergency vehicles to be used on major roads and streets in Oromia region and on the major roads connecting the capital city Addis Ababa. Keros warned that any violation of their embargo will be met with severe consequences. There are already some Eros demonstrations in Awadai, Dire Ayara, Shashamane, Bale, Arsi, and many other towns and cities in Oromia. These protesters repeated their calls for the release of all Oromo political prisoners. They were chanting slogans such as Free Johar Muhammad, Free Baqqala Garba, Free Hamza Borana, Free Abdi Ragasa, Down Down Abiy Ahmed, Down Down Bilsigana. We will not go home while our heroes are still in prison, and Oromia belongs to Oromos. The timing of the sixth embargo is interesting because it is happening while most of the federal resources are directed to crush the Tigrayan people. The prospect for federalism, freedom, democracy, peace, and justice in Ethiopia will come to an end if Abiy Ahmed and his supporters are successful in these unlawful military operations in Tigray. Ethiopia will become a one-man show like Eritrea. We must strongly resist that from happening. So, Keros might have a chance to take over at least some towns and cities from the Prosperity Party hands if they combine their embargo with aggressive, massive public protests. No time limit is given for this embargo. The Ethiopian government is losing its credibility and the media propaganda war on its war of choice on Tigray region. First, Abiy Ahmed missed his war schedule on Tigray. It is more than 2 weeks since he started the war on the citizens of the same nation. Tigrayans are getting punished for not joining the Prosperity Party and for exercising their rights on their own land. He thought the war was a piece of cake and could be done within a week, but it's already on the contrary. Second, various media are exposing Ethiopian authorities, the federal police, the military, and other security officers are conducting targeted or selective operations on the Tigrayans living in various parts of the country, targeting citizens based on their origin or ethnicity, but not based on the factual criminal conduct they might have committed. This is illegal profiling. It is the contrary. It is in the contrary what the Prime Minister was saying in his propaganda speeches. He was saying that this war is not against the Tigrayan people, but his actions are in the contrary. For example, he shut down 34 Tigrayan-owned businesses. He shut down bank accounts owned by Tigrayans. He also removed Tigrayans working in different government positions. He also bombed universities, churches, mosques, and residential areas in Tigray, already causing civilian deaths, injuries, and property destructions. His military officials are also lacking credibility on their briefings. They are misleading Ethiopians and the global community. For example, they were saying that the Tigrayan army capabilities were dismantled and they do not have the capacity to hit far cities like Bahrdar and Gondar. But the Tigrayan forces used 3 rockets to hit Bahrdar after that military briefings. Such information can expose citizens for unwanted dangers such as injuries, deaths, and destructions. The Ethiopian government must be accountable about the information it is providing to its citizens and to the global communities. You cannot win a war by false propaganda or misleading information. Technologies are there to expose your credibility. United Nations Security General Antonio Guterres has welcomed the African Union appointment of 3 high-level envoys to help resolve the conflict in the Tigray region of Ethiopia, calling it an initiative for peace. The 3 envoys are Joaquim Chissano, former president of Mozambique; Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former Liberian president, female; and Kgalema Motlanthe, former president of South Africa. They were appointed on Friday by the African Union Chairperson, President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. In welcoming the decision, the Secretary General underlined the United Nations support for efforts toward ensuring a peaceful, stable, and prosperous Ethiopia, according to a statement issued later that day by his spokesperson. He commends the chairperson of the African Union, President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, for his initiative and extends the full support of the United Nations. He also expresses his appreciation to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia for facilitating this initiative for peace. It says, however, Abiy Ahmed is going forward with his intensive war plan against the Tigray region. Today, he warned residents of Mekelle to look for safer protection. He is claiming that the junta, try to mean the Tigrayans residents and the TPLF, they call them junta now, is using churches, schools, and the public as a protection shield. He is attempting to use indiscriminate bombing of the city and win the war. But Amnesty International and the international community are warning of the possibility of war crime if he goes ahead with his plan. Already genocide and extensive mass killings and the humanitarian catastrophe and other chaos are underway. But the problem is there is no independent media to record and verify for all of us. The Ethiopian government, in its attempt to hide the war crimes and prevent factual reporting on the war, deported an analyst with International Crisis Group, William Davison, from the country and warned BBC, Reuters, and DW journalists about their reporting on the war. These are the characteristics of the dictators. Ethiopians and the global community have the right for independent and factual reporting. So threatening all the journalists, BBC, Deutsche Welle, and Reuters, and deporting, individuals like William. These are just the government strategies, not to expose what's going on over there, what's happening, and we are, the Ethiopians and the global community shut down from this ongoing war. So many claims on both sides, but we have nothing to verify. And we don't know how many people injured. We don't know how many people died. What are the extents of the damage? All are unknown, thanks to the Ethiopian government. Thanks to our Nobel laureate. The United States senators seek to stop Trump's $23 billion in arms sale to United Arab Emirates. Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat, Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat, and Republican Senator Rand Paul will introduce 4 separate resolutions of disapproval of President Donald Trump's plan to sell more than $23 billion worth of Raptor drones, F-35 fighter aircrafts, and air-to-air missiles and other munitions to the UAE. The senators' main concern is that this huge sale could alter the balance of power in the Middle East. Probably they are concerned about Israel. Mostly Americans are more concerned the situation in Israel if UAE dominate the Middle East with these highly sophisticated weapons. So the main concern is Israel, maybe some other countries, but the balance of power. Okay, President Donald Trump rushed to complete the deal before leaving the White House in January. And as you might know, UAE signed a deal with Israel. So this may be can be seen as a gift for UAE. This arms deal could also have a serious impact on our own ongoing internal war. The Tigray region officials claim that Abiy Ahmed is using the UAE drones on the Tigray towns and cities. Stopping this sale can save Ethiopians' lives and their valuable belongings. When the deal was announced, Amnesty International warned that the weapons would be used for attacks that violate international humanitarian law and kill, as well as injure thousands of Yemeni civilians. We got to wait and see if these senators will be successful in their attempt in stopping this serious transaction. President Donald Trump still didn't concede to the defeat of his presidency for the second term. He is still fighting for a recount in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia, and Wisconsin, claiming fraud and other irregularities with no factual evidence. The president fears fighting is not only to hold on the White House, but also to enjoy the immunity from various lawsuits such as his financial dealings, his tax return, etc. If he stays in the White House, this privilege will cease with his loss of the presidency, and these lawsuits and others might be waiting for him after he leaves the White House. I don't think he has a chance to reverse the presidency of Joe Biden. Concerned citizens media still advise President Donald Trump and his entire cabinet to leave the White House with respect and dignity. Meanwhile, on Saturday, November 21, 2020, the federal court in Pennsylvania dismissed the president's case to disfranchise almost 7 million mail-in votes. Lack of evidence was the cause of this dismissal. The counties in Pennsylvania are scheduled to certify their election results on Monday. So President Donald Trump is keep challenging Biden's wins in claiming so many different things, but so far his team and President Donald Trump and his team are not successful, and they will not be successful, but because they don't have any factual evidence about their claims. It's just claiming fraud and various election irregularities without any credible evidence. They will not be successful. They lost the election, and they have to leave the White House respectfully, as our tradition shows. So thank you for listening for this news, and let's go to a couple of videos and end today's presentation. So the first video is the Tigrans community in a Washington DC area and their supporters protesting, crying to stop the war in Tigray. So let's see a little bit about that, then we'll go to the other video.
genocide is happening in Ethiopia right now. Stop the war! Stop the war in Ethiopia! Yes! 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 People are being executed in Ethiopia. Stop the war! Stop the war! Yes! Yes! What is happening in Ethiopia tonight? Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Yes! 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 Genocide in Ethiopia. Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Yes! 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 Respecting democratic principles and stop the war in Ethiopia. Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! People are dying in Ethiopia. Stop the war! Stop the war! Yes! 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 Stop the genocide in Ethiopia. Yes! 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 Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Yes! 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 Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! It's not a crime! Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Stop the genocide! Yes! 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 Respect your democratic principles and stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Stop the war! 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 Yes! 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 Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Stop the Yes! 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 Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! God has been congregated in interim fasting in Ethiopia! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! God has been hurt from their offices and from their work! Stop the war in Ethiopia! Stop the war in Tigray! Yes! 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 Stop supporting the dictator in Ethiopia! Stop supporting the dictator in Ethiopia! The genocide is happening in Tigray! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war in Ethiopia! Stop the war in Ethiopia! Yes! 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 Protecting our people in Ethiopia! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Yes! 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 Protect our people! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war in Ethiopia! Stop the war in Ethiopia! Stop the war in Tigray! Yes! 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 Stop supporting the dictator in Ethiopia! Yes! 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 Defend Rwanda! You're failing Ethiopia! Particularly the people of Tigray! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Yes! 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 Stop supporting the dictator in Ethiopia! Stop the war! Stop supporting the dictator in Ethiopia! Stop supporting the dictator! Yes! Yes! Ethnic Tigrayans have been congregated in interim camps right now! Stop the Holocaust in Ethiopia! Stop the war! Stop the Holocaust in Ethiopia! Stop the Holocaust in Ethiopia! Yes! Yes! Innocent Tagara are being raped right now by the Ethiopian dictator! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Their houses are looted! They're being killed and massacred in Ethiopia! Tigray! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Yes! 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 Uphold your democratic principles and stop the war in Ethiopia! Stop the war in Ethiopia! Yes! Yes! Stop the war in Ethiopia! Stop the war in Ethiopia! Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Yes! Yes! Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! Stop the genocide in Ethiopia! The Trump administration should not support the dictatorship in Ethiopia! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Defend Rwanda! Now you're banning Ethiopia, particularly the peacocking people of Tigray! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Yes! 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 It's in our crime! Stop the war in Ethiopia! 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 Stop killing my mother! Stop killing my mother! Stop killing my father in Ethiopia! Stop killing my mother in Ethiopia! Stop killing our children in Ethiopia! Stop killing our children in Ethiopia! Yes! 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 Stop supporting the dictator in Ethiopia! Stop supporting the dictator in Ethiopia! Yes! Yes! Defend Rwanda! Now you're banning Ethiopia! Stop the war!
Okay, that's a call against the war in Tigray. Uh, uh, that is, the others, the Oromos, the Amaras, and as other peace-loving Ethiopians and the international community, they should come out and join this protest. You know, uh, the one I reported on last time was much better than this one. It seems more inclusive with uh, Oromo flags and other Eritreans. This one is mostly Tigrayans, with the exception of some probably Americans and some other ethnics. But I don't see the Oromo flags. Uh, we should join them, especially those who are living in Washington, D.C. and the surrounding community. They should have joined this call uh, to end the war, the genocide happening in Tigray. These are the same nations fighting each other for the sake of Abiy Ahmed's political power or prosperity power. Nothing else. Nothing else. Tigrayans are punished for using the constitution, for not postponing the election by using COVID-19 as excuse. So prosperity is punishing them, uh, showing its force uh, to defeat them, to crush them, to use them as an example for the other parts of Ethiopia. So if you dare to challenge the Prosperity Party in the future, you will be crushed like Tigrayans. That's why Abiy is doing now. So we will see how it will play out, but that is their strategy to force the Prosperity Party on Ethiopians by force, by security force, by military force, by federal police, by using the country's resources to promote one party system. So that is wrong. We should all rise up and fight against it, including those who are thinking they might be getting some advantage at the time, the Amaras. That is a poor strategy. We should all rise up for freedom, justice, equality in Ethiopia. That's why I say when the call against the war is made, we should all rise up and uh, protest against it. So that's all I have for this video. And the last video I have for today, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Just a minute, just a minute. Okay.
What if building applications was simplified so anyone could do it? becomes humanly possible for everyone with Mendix Low Code, a Siemens company.
It would be laughable if this wasn't so dangerous. You start doing ballots like this. Rudy Giuliani on Fox Sunday spinning his latest false conspiracy theory about an American voting machine company, a bizarre take involving George Soros, votes being counted in Spain, and dead strongman Hugo Chavez. A company that has close ties with Venezuela and therefore China? False. Truth, facts, they don't seem to matter to Giuliani, who's tweeting, posting on YouTube, showing up on far right-wing shows, spouting wildly false allegations, even from the parking lot of a landscaping company next to an adult bookstore. Wow, what a beautiful day. His argument in Philadelphia that vote counters were purposely hiding ballots from Trump's poll watchers. Because many of them were fraudulent. Not true. This is the man President Trump has just put in charge of his legal challenges to Joe Biden's presidential win. A stack of lawsuits has already been thrown out or dropped, including 9 in one day.
All of the cases are falling apart. The way he's going about continuing to file cases with no basis in court just makes Donald Trump a loser more times.
In a Pennsylvania lawsuit, a judge asked Trump's attorney, "Are you claiming that there is any fraud in connection with these disputed ballots?" The Trump attorney admitted, no. Yet along with other Trump cronies, Giuliani keeps feeding the world his debunked conspiracy theories.
In each state, there were ineligible ballots that overwhelmed the margin of victory.
No, Mr. Giuliani, there weren't. The United States Department of Homeland Security issued this joint statement from its Elections Infrastructure Committee stating there is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised.
Rudy Giuliani is undermining confidence in the American election system and therefore undermining our national security.
It's a far cry from the man who was dubbed Mayor of the World in the wake of 9/11. Ever since Giuliani became a vocal supporter of the president's 2016 presidential bid, he's been Trump's chief conspiracist, even traveling to Ukraine to try to dig up dirt on Hunter Biden. Intelligence officials told the White House Giuliani was the target of a Russian influence operation in 2019, according to the Washington Post.
It is very dangerous, and it's extremely alarming.
Former federal prosecutor Ken McCallion, who specializes in Russian organized crime and once worked with Giuliani, believes Giuliani may be unwittingly doing the Russians' business in this election.
What they're doing is completely 100% in the interests of Russia, which is to create as much damage and confusion to the U.S.
And it's working. The lies and false reports sending thousands into the streets for a pro-Trump protest this past weekend. And perhaps convincing millions of Americans to doubt the U.S. election system. Staunch Republican and former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton says it's a damaging strategy that won't end after Trump leaves office.
Real distrust in the system, casting doubt on the integrity of our electoral system, the constitutional process. The Russians and the Chinese couldn't ask for any more. What Trump's doing is potentially dangerous for the country.
Allison, we've talked to former colleagues of Giuliani who question whether there's real cognitive decline leading to a lack of judgment. They just don't understand what has happened to Rudy Giuliani. One even noting that because Donald Trump doesn't even pay his attorney, Rudy is destroying his reputation for free.
That is a report on the claims made by Giuliani, Donald Trump attorney. These are just false claims, unfounded claims they use for recount, for not conceding the election, buying time. I don't know how long they're gonna drag it. and attempting to create chaos in the American system, build a mistrust in the voting. These are all has negative consequences, as he said, and we're supposed to be the model for the global community. You know, we're supposed to show that we accept losses, but Trump is not that kind of man. He's still fighting. He's still calling for recounts, and he lost many lawsuits, false claims. So we'll see, and it will come to an end anyway. They have time. They may not cooperate with President-elect Joe Biden and his team. That's the only thing they can do, but they will not stay in the White House after January 2021. So we all should call on them to respect the election results and start the transition process for the sake of the country, to make it smooth, something they cannot change. Why they are just using different excuses not to cooperate the President-elect Joe Biden and his team. We know they cannot stay in the White House after January 20. So that's all I have from Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you for taking your time and listen to my news and analysis. Let's pray for peace and stability, especially for Tigray region and the Oromia. Also, the war have been going on. The war, different atrocities have been going on in Oromia, even though we don't have much media coverage because there is no media speaking for the Oromos at this time. We got so many medias for the Amaras, but no media in Ethiopia for Oromos. That's why we don't hear that much how many people are suffering under Abiy Ahmed administration in Oromia region. Yes, some information is coming out through social medias, how many died, what's happening, but there is no independent media reporting from Oromia for Oromos. So, and the country is in a bad shape under our Nobel laureate. Ethiopians should put aside their differences and remove these guys from power and establish publicly elected officials in that country. If not, there will be no peace in Ethiopia anywhere. It will be worse from time to time. Whether you go to Benishangul, Tigray, Oromia, and Walaita, anywhere, there is no peace. There is no stability in that country under Abiy Ahmed leadership. So we should all come together again. Don't think you have advantage because of, Abiy is fighting Tigrayans today. He may come back to you tomorrow. You don't know, but his actions are like that. Anytime you challenge him, he will bring the military and the federal police. So this guy is wrong for that country. His entire team is wrong. They have been wrong for a while. And these are criminals. They're supposed to be in jail for their all criminal acts in the last 27 years. These are criminals. And they are repeating their criminal acts again on Ethiopians. They should be put in jail, and Ethiopians should have a right to choose their own representatives through fair and free elections. That's all I have for today. Thank you for listening again. See you again. So long, everyone.